Hello, traders. My name is Anna, and I am a head coach at Leverage. Today is our last day of the risk management marathon, and we are going to talk about the risk management blueprint. We are walking through like a checklist that I have made for you. I do want to say this is like my favorite thing to say. I do want to say I need to stop saying that. So this checklist is made of what we have talked about through these 5 days, but please feel free to adjust it to your needs. But this is like a blueprint, what we should focus on, like as a traders when it comes to putting down the risk. So also I will be sharing my C Trader a little bit later on. So any trades that I take, please do not copy them. So I hope I hope you had a great week. Today's Friday. Do you have that Friday feeling? I do. I really do. So I'm really excited to walk through this risk management blueprint. And if you want to download it, so you need to go into the Discord. If you have signed up through the dashboard, the Leverage dashboard, you'll be able to join the Discord community just on your front of your dashboard to the right corner. There's going to be Discord community. Once you join in, I have shared the template in there so you can download the PDF file and then it's yours to keep. So first of all, we need to start with the personal risk profile. Now, if you remember what I talked about, the first thing first, what we do as traders, we accept the risk. So we'll always see how much we are risking with in percentage or in a monetary value. So it's always first about the risk, how much risk we're risking and how much we can afford to lose, right? So, and then what we need to figure out, what is the general attitude toward the risk, right? So, and this is like an example. I trade with aggressive risk, big reward. There will be traders who think like that, and that's absolutely fine. This is specific to you. And actually, why I chose to put this example on, because most of the traders that I have coaching sessions with, or most of the traders that I talk with, they actually are quite aggressive traders. And the truth is, I think at the beginning of my journey, I was aggressive as well because my goals were much bigger and I felt like I need to achieve those goals much faster. So your attitude toward the risk is it's your personal attitude. I can't tell you that you need to use low risk because maybe that's not who you are. You want to risk big. So you just need to work that you have a good strategy where you can afford to risk more, correct? So, what is the general attitude towards the risk? The next one is how you react to those losses. Now, the reactions are different. Again, I showed you different examples through these days, through these 5 sessions. Well, actually, 4 sessions, previous sessions. For example, when I take a trade, how do I feel? What's happening in my head when I see the trade goes against me or into my profit? How do I react to that trade emotionally, right? So, what is going on? What is the thought process in my head? So, how am I reacting to that, right? So, and then in this example, I chose this. I often chase losses or double down, especially after losing streaks. I feel a strong need to win it back. So many does. And I have been there. I really have. But now things have changed. Now, when I go on a losing streak, my first thing is like, I need to protect my capital. I need to do everything what I can to protect my capital. So instead of like doubling it down, right? Because my risk is not that, I'm not that aggressive when it comes to risk. Now I'm going to just calm it down. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining in. Hello. Really good to have you here, just so I can reply to your comments so it doesn't look like I'm ignoring you. So yeah, how do you react to those losses? It's really important and you need to figure it out. Because you know the best, because I can tell, well, this is how I react. Doesn't mean you react the same way. So you need to know exactly where do you stand as your like personal risk profile. What kind of risk do you have? Like what kind of risk you use when you're trading. Now the risk tolerance is also really important to know. And these are also like just an examples that I gave based on what I have talked with other traders. So max drawdown. If you're trading prop farm, for example, you can trade 3 programs with us: junior, senior, and executive. The drawdowns will be different. So you need to see based on the program you choose, what is the drawdown. If you're trading like your personal funds, then you need to figure out what is it that you can handle. So in this case, I think I can handle a 30% drawdown. So for some, you'll be like, whoa, 30%, that's massive. I cannot handle that. But for some other traders, 30% is actually, they can handle it. Now, emotional tolerance is most important because numbers always look beautiful on the paper. But when it comes to executing on those numbers, when it comes to controlling the emotion, when it comes to setting those number targets, is a different story. So, emotional tolerance. Now, in this example, I panic around 15%. So, 15% loss. I get frustrated and feel an urge to increase size to recover losses quickly. So, the same thing in here. How do we react to the losses, right? I often chase or double down, especially after losing streaks. I feel a strong need to win it back. And the same in here, strong need for that recovery to come back, right? To come and get that money back. So, what is your emotional tolerance? How much you can handle, right? So, and these are, you need to be very, very open when you sit down and do this, like a blueprint, like a questionnaire. Actually, that's what it is, right? So you need to be very honest with yourself because you want to focus on these numbers and get there like daily and use this as your blueprint when it comes to risk. So another really important thing, and that's why I put it at the top, is actually your finances, your financial situation. Because when I started to trade, I was just in uni. I did not have much money. I didn't have any savings. And finances were like, I want to trade to make loads of money. But then, so I didn't have the opportunities. I just didn't. So it's really important to know, your financial situation before you actually start to print this blueprint of your risk management. So risk capital. So that's why, because I didn't want to put everything, I didn't even give the examples in this one. So you need to do it personally for yourself. So risk capital, what is your goal that you want to trade with, right? So what is that capital? And then look at your monthly income. I think it's important to like see how much money you can lose. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly answer this question. Maxiel, can you post the blueprint on the Discord server after the stream? I actually already posted. It's in the general chat. You can find it in there and you can download it. So whoever wants to download the PDF file, you need to join the Discord community. It's a great community, guys. It's a good place to be. So yes, it's available in there. So monthly income, that's just based on how you budget everything around. And then we need to see what is like your disposable income and what is it that you can do with the rest of the money. Like, can it go to your trading account? What is it? Like, you need to know exactly your financial situation. And then emergency savings as well. Like, when you do the risk assessment, knowing your finances is crucial. And for some people, this is very uncomfortable topic because nobody wants to open up, well, these are my finances and this is my financial situation. But I think it's a really, really good place to really like dig into this and figure out where do you exactly stand. Because if you know that your finances, you're struggling, you can't be aggressive when you're risk. You just can't, unless you do have an amazing strategy that you can back it up. And yes, but still you need to see how you're feeling. If you're always under the pressure with your finances, when you risk more, then you can start to have that emotional tolerance is not going to be the same as your like goal. So you really need to look at that. And then I did add dependence in there. So I always give this example that I'm mom of 4. I have 4 children. If you count my dog, I have 5. And he gives me definitely more headache than my human kids. So it's important to also know where your priorities are, like dependence. So and this is actually when I'm talking with the traders who are going on a drawdown and who are losing control of their risk, I always say you need to think about your dependence. Who's depending on you? You can't fall into this trap where you're just gonna risk completely ruthless and you will ignore all the rules, ignore all the limits. So you need to think of your dependence. And actually, where does it tie into? That you know your why, and you know why you want to achieve your goals, why you want to be a successful trader. So finances include also the people that are or pets that are depending on you. The next thing is risk boundaries. Now, if you choose to trade with leveraged, we have 3 programs. Each program has different risk boundaries. If you are trading your personal accounts, then you set those boundaries, right? So this is like literally up to you. But I think it's important to put it in here just so you can have that kind of like in your head that you know exactly my daily loss is this and my max loss per trade is this. So basically what you're risking with, okay? And then we're looking at max trades per day and stop trading after that many trades. Now, this is actually, so these two at the top there, max trades per day and stop trading after, right? Some traders don't like these rules because they are looking what the market is doing. They're adjusting their risk based on how their trades are going. So this is not going to suit everyone, but I think you definitely should be very clear on your max daily loss and max loss per trade. So you need to know how much money you're putting on the table for each trade that you are taking. And then the checklist, right? So the checklist is think about it as your daily routine as a trader, right? So daily risk checklist. You write it down once you have done it, and then you put it on the paper, and it's just easy to read through. That's what I do. That's like part of my processes, part of my like a morning routine is to go through the checklist of me as a trader. Like I know my risk, I know exactly how much money I have to trade with. I know what is my limit. I know exactly how I'm feeling. So those are really important checklists. So daily risk, you check in with your risk, right? With your accounts when you're standing at. Then pre-trade checklist, right? So that's also another thing that you do before you start to trade, or not another thing that you do, but what I would like you to suggest is before you start to trade, you need to know exactly what is your limit today per loss, because so many traders get and I have had conversations with traders who are very close to the daily drawdown. So again, for example, if you trade a senior manager account, then your daily drawdown is 4%, and traders are pushing it so close to that drawdown. And it's just you need to make sure that in that pre-trading checklist that you don't over push your boundaries when it comes to risk. And then also the post trade review, right? So this is for the risk, but also this checklist, which is daily risk checklist, that's for every day. And then pre-trade and post-trade, those are also things that you can do as a trader to collect the data on your risk analysis, like on your trading analysis. You're adding your results into the spreadsheet. So these are really, the checklist at the end is really important for your process as a trader. And the more you're going to use this blueprint for your risk, the more comfortable you will start to get. And the thing is, for myself, then because I had this risk approach and I knew exactly what I'm doing, it was getting easier and easier for me to use this. And I was so adapted to it that like when I was emotionally starting to, I'm just going to break some rules in here, I'm like, no, I have this, I have the list, and I need to follow it. That's why it is blueprint. That's why I have put it in place. And don't get smart with me. There was actually we were giggling about this. And I said, you need to have rules, right? And then the trader goes, yeah, but the rules are to break them. And I'm like, don't be smart with this. Trading rules are not to break. So if you make a rule and if you put it on the paper and if you put it on your list, then you need to stick to those rules, right? So hopefully this will help you to get overall with your risk approach. But I want to now take you to the C trader, and let's see how we can use it in like live markets, how we can use our risk blueprint. Right, so this is my C trader, and currently I have some trade in here open, so please ignore that. I am going to go here. As you can see, we were like trading a little bit here. Okay. I'm trying to put this account in like a drawdown so we can use this as our example. So risk tolerance, right? Let me get it on my phone just so I can see it at the same time. I think I need another screen for this. Like I already had 2 screens on my setup, but I feel like I need another one. So what am I doing? First, I'm going to check my balance. So I know that today my balance is 97,400. How much in a drawdown am I? 2.5%. How does that make me feel? I'm still comfortable. I'm going to risk the same risk So this is like my process. I'm going through the process, what I'm doing. So I'm looking at the numbers. I know exactly how much in the drawdown I am. I ask myself, how is that making me feel? How do I feel, right? So what is my attitude? What is my attitude? How do I react to the losses that I'm currently, because I am currently 2.5% down, right? So what is it? How am I feeling? Is that affecting how I'm going to now look at the market? Will I start to chase? Do I want to win it back quickly? Remember, after we go on a loss, we're just, I need to get it back. I need to get it back because I'm like, I'm in a loss. I need to make sure that I go back to break even or I make money, right? So I'm getting familiar with the situation. It's 2.5% drawdown. I have a trade open, which is a little bit in the profit. So how do I trade today? I still use my proper risk, like what I would normally risk. So in this case, I believe for this account, we're risking 1%, right? So this is my experimental account where I'm just like giving you examples. So we're risking 1%, I think, yeah. So we're risking 1% and I feel comfortable, right? So I'm following my blueprint in this case. So let's just for a sake of example, I'm going to buy this, the bullish candle here. So I'm just going to buy. I'm going to quickly check 20 pip stops. How much is that going to be? 1%. So there we go. I'm placing a trade, 1% trade. I feel comfortable. So max drawdown. Do I know my max drawdown? Yes, I do. It's 10%. So that means I still have 7.5% left. I know my daily drawdown, it's 4%. So do I emotionally feel great? Yes, I do. I know my financial situation. I know that I don't need to make this. I don't need to double this account. I have plenty of time and I know my goal. I know my focus where it's standing. Now, my risk boundaries, again, I know exactly where I am. I know my balance. I know my equity. I know how much risk per trade I'm taking. I know how much risk per day I can afford on this account. So everything is in the check. Now, before I started the trade, I did my checklist, right? So I went through my risk management. I checked in with myself. I really want to encourage you to actually write yourself note if you are struggling with this, because once you write it in a paper, it's like signing the agreement, right? So when you, for example, you get married, you need to sign a paper to say now you're a husband or a wife, right? So you're getting married and you're signing a paper. This is official, right? So you're married. The same thing in here. Just imagine if you write down, I accept risk every time you come, and this actually, well, I'm not doing this anymore every day. Sometimes I will, mostly I don't. Just used to be like my self-control, I would say. This is how I controlled myself. So when I write it down, I accept the risk. This is like you're declaring that you're accepting the risk and you're sticking to it. Now, I do want to show this example. We laughed with one of my really good trading buddies that sometimes traders do this where they accept the risk and then they see, this trade, this has so much potential. And I'm looking at this note. It literally says, I accept the risk. What they're doing, they're placing another trade. And then they're placing another trade. And suddenly I am in this emotional heat, like in this emotional roller coaster that now I'm risking 3 times more than I wanted to risk. This is a terrible situation to be in. And what they just did, they literally broke the promise and they don't accept the risk anymore. I know this is very dramatic, but that's what the traders do. We broke our own rules. We break them because we're not serious enough. Maybe we are just afraid to fail. There can be so many things under there. So when I have coaching sessions, then I really like to, first of all, I give traders to not to sign, not to make it too official, but I give them like a checklist, what they need to do before they come to the coaching session, because it's really important to know where they stand in their trading and what is their driving, like what is that drive for them. So I think it's just really important to know why are you doing this? Why are you breaking your own rules? Why can you not stick to them? And there's definitely reasons for that. Some could be you're scared to fail. You don't want to admit that you're wrong. You want to chase the money. You're desperate. so many reasons, and there's so many traders out there, and all of them have like different examples. So but I really do believe that signing that, and once it is down, it's not going to be that easy, because you know how that makes me feel now. I have broken the rule. I have 3 trades open instead of the 1. I have broken my rules. I have broken like what I said I'm going to do. Like I have broken my word. Why would I do that? It makes me feel now uncomfortable, and I want to fix this, and I need to think, how am I going to fix this? I need to close this. Yeah, I see I'm in a red. I'm in a green and red. It's really hard to say, right? But I need to fix this. That should be your reaction to this, because you have made a mistake. So you need to get out of it like now. The first setup that I took, it's still valid, right? The trade is still valid. So I'm going to leave one, but you need to fix it. Any time where you go against yourself, you need to have a light bulb moment where you're like, I did wrong. Like I need to fix this. So you literally either, you stick it together or you take a new piece of paper, take a pen, and you write down, I accept the risk. Before you do that, get out of the positions that were not meant to be there. Get out of those positions that were not meant to be there, and accept that you made a mistake, and you do, I accept risk. 3 words. 3 words that you need to do. I accept the risk. We have fixed the issue. We have closed the trade. I have accepted my risk. I'm not messing around anymore. Oh, now it's not zooming in. Nice. Sorry, guys, I'm going to be a little bit blurry. I don't know why my camera does this. Can't find me. But I have fixed the issue, and we're good now, because I have fixed it. And my trade is going to go where it's supposed to go, because it is according to my plan. I want to risk 1% to make 1.5. So that's absolutely fine. Maxiel says, love that you're managing the trade. Yeah, well, these are like, made up trades. So, I don't know why my camera is not. Okay, there we go. I'm not blurry anymore. But yeah, I think it's just really, really important for us to make sure that we have a checklist as the traders, that most importantly, that we stick to it. And if we make a mistake, it's not end of the world. You need to learn from it. You need to fix the mistake, and then you need to keep on going, right? And the best thing to do is to have that checklist, to go through the checklist before you start to trade. Make sure that you're emotionally feeling okay, that you're not chasing anything, that you're, it sounds a little bit, off when I say this, but are you stable? Like you feel like you are sitting on like a normal 4-legged chair, or is it like 3 legs and you're like falling off, So you need to be in that zone, in that mindset where you know exactly what you're doing, and you cannot be over emotional, or you can't feel too much of emotions as well. So you just need to be in that zone. So hopefully this is helping you to understand and maybe like manage your risk better. I really hope so. And I am really looking forward to connect with you guys in the Discord community. So please join in so you can have this template that I was sharing. Oh, right here. So this template, risk management blueprint. If you join the Discord, you will get the template. And I hope it helps you. So you can adjust it to your needs. You don't need to have everything in here, but I think it's just important to have some kind of checklist that will help you to understand what kind of risk approach you should use as a trader. So thank you so much for being with me through these 5 days. I'm excited to do another marathon. I think this time we're going to do psychology. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And most importantly, I'm just hoping that these sessions are helping you to become a better trader. So thank you so much for joining. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.